video is going to be about loading your samples for your DSC. So first things first, you're going to want to go here to the nitrogen tank and turn this all the way open, so counterclockwise. It is already open, so I'm not going to twist it anymore. And then you're going to take this tag here that says TGA/DSC running, so that way people know not to turn this tank off if we're not in here, as oftentimes DSC runs take a while. So as soon as you've done that, you can come over here to the DSC instrument. And first things first, you're going to want to start up the software. We already have it open here, but let me just show you where it would be on the desktop. So you're going to take this icon here and open it up. If you can't find it somewhere on the desktop for whatever reason, the software is also called Q Series, so you can look it up in the search engine. So once you have started and got the software turned on, you're going to go to Control here, go down to Event, and make sure you click On. That will essentially turn on our instrument so it can start cooling down our stage platform for our samples. So essentially once you turn that event on, that cool down process will begin. And that cools down this temperature known as the flange temperature. That essentially is the temperature inside that stage platform, and you want it to be somewhere between -80 and -90 degrees Celsius, and that it is remaining very constant, so only fluctuating about 0.01 or 0.02 degrees. If it is not constant, it is not ready for the experiment yet. And if it is not that cold, again, it is not ready for the experiment. If it is too cold, so below -90, you might want to get it checked out before using it, but otherwise, if it's stable and within that range, it's good to go. So once all of that is set up and your flange temperature is constant, you can go here to the auto sampler and take the cap off. And you're going to need to choose some different spots here for your samples. So the R numbers, where it's like R1 or R2, those are for your reference pans and lids. So for our purposes, we're using the spot labeled R1 for our reference. So we go ahead and place that in there. And then we're going to use the other spot for our sample labeled 3. And you're going to want to keep in mind all of these numbers that correspond to all of your samples. Write them down in your notebook, as you'll need to put those into the software later on. So once you have all your samples labeled and put in here accordingly, you can go ahead and put the lid back on. Now your samples are loaded, and we can move on to the next video where we will talk about how to get the data collection and run the software.